So, Jana,
Yes.
what are we going to do today?
Okay, well, I'm just going to be really very, very simple. I'm only going to use maybe one or two colors.
Oh,
Very little,
wow.
I know. And I have a favorite stroke that I like to teach, and I'd say it's the most important stroke in watercolor, quite frankly, and it may well be, at least it is to me, and
All
it's, you take your brush and you clean it off and you take off the excess water, because one of the hardest things to teach, and I bet any watercolorist will tell you this, is how much pigment and how much water to have in your brush. It's just darn difficult, and that takes practice. It just takes doing it and doing it and doing it. So I've got an exercise today. It's sky and it's water, and then I'm going to put little sailboats in it. It's a really cute little study. I think people are going to like it. And the strokes is going to be, the sky is going to be the same method that I do for the water, except the stroke is slightly different.
Well, this will be interesting.
Yeah, it is.
All
I think people are going to like it, so I think we can get at it.
Okay, here we go. What are you doing first?
All right, I'm just going to wet my brush. As I mentioned before,
It's dirty.
I hope so. Well, I mentioned we edited this one. All right, so this is the stroke that I've maintained is the most important one in watercolors. This one, you put your brush in here.
All right.
And then you take off the excess water, because then your brush is absolutely perfect for what you want to do. Now, a lot depends on what's going on here at the palette, and what I do between here, here, and here is just as important as any painting that I do. So I'm going to wet my brush just to start with and get some pigment out, and I'm using ultramarine blue, and I'm going to do it, and I mentioned last time at about homogenized milk consistency. So it's not thin, it's not thick, but it's just nice true color. So that's how I'm going to start it. So my first stroke is going to be, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a cloudy sky, but the white is going to show through. It is not wet into wet like we did last time. This is going to be done on dry paper, but it's going to kind of look like it's been a wet into wet by the time we're finished. So I'm going to start with this.
Don't you get hard edges
Well,
dry?
See, a few. Yeah, a few white edges, but there's a way in which I don't want to have, well, I'll have some hard edges, but a lot of them won't be. So I'm going to make some marks, just like this. Then I'm going to take my brush, clean it off, take off the excess water.
All right.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in
All
here,
right.
and I'm going to soften them. And every time I take my brush off, I clean it off.
All right.
So this is kind of neat. And so I do have quite a bit of water around, but I'm allowing some of that to shine through. Now I'm going to take a little bit more, put it up there, down here. Take my brush, clean it off, take off the excess water, and that excess water taken off keeps it so that it's not going to be all over the place. I've got it controlled, slightly controlled. So I'm having these clouds shine through. But I'm keeping some of that white, allowing some of these little droplets to show as well. I want this is going to be a little bit more dominant than the other place. Take my brush, clean it out. So see how often I do this?
Yes. I never saw anybody work like that.
Oh yeah, well this is a wonderful, wonderful method of doing this. I really love this this way.
So you have in your head what you're going to do.
Yeah, pretty well. So what I've done, I just want this kind of busy sky, if you
All
like.
right.
So that's what I've done there.
Well, that's
now
busy.
the next stroke actually is going to be very similar. Well, the stroke is going to be similar, but the method is similar. So I'm going to get some more of this blue, like this. And with this flat brush, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make some marks like this. Just like this.
Okay, what are they for?
This is going to be the water.
The water.
And it's going to be in the distance, and there's going to be white in between them. Now, I have a little method that I say, only work in area as long as you can keep it wet. I'm going to go just right across here. So I'm making a few of them. Because these breakers, if you like, this white water is in the distance,
Yeah.
these lines are going to be closer. Then I'm going to manipulate them, and you're going to see how I'm going to do that. So I take my brush, clean it off, because I only can work in area as long as I can keep it wet. Now I'm going to go down like this so that I've got a little place for that to bleed into. And then I'm going to take a few of them.
Nifty.
Isn't that fun? And so I'm going to soften these edges, take my brush every time, like this, and I'm still keeping some white. See how it's similar
Yeah.
it is with what's going on above?
White caps.
Yeah, that's happening. And you kind of go all the way to, this is, anybody can do this.
You're not drawing, you're just playing.
Yeah, I'm just playing, because that's what art's all about.
Yeah.
So you see how it's coming in. Now, as I come closer, there's going to be more white in between. So I'm
Yeah.
making, and the other thing that I do these lines, you don't want them all the same, like that,
No, because
you know,
water
like,
is,
yes.
yeah.
And so you want to have them differently. And I work in opposites. Like if I put down a large stroke, I'm probably going to put down a small stroke. If I'm going to put down a long one, it's going to put the next one's probably going to be short. Something like that. I mean, that's probably a little bit of an exaggeration. But that's kind of what I do. And I find it works. So I'm going to take that all the way across. Okay, I'm just keeping. See what's happening?
Look at that.
Isn't that fun?
You gotta, like trees, you gotta make sure they're not soldiers.
Yeah, right, absolutely. That's such a good one. That's a good metaphor for it. So you see how I'm coming more forward here, but the method is the same as above, the same as the sky. And look how often I do this. This is why I say this one's really, really important.
Why is it important?
Well, because it keeps control. Like I can maneuver this without losing it, and I can do what it needs to do, I guess. It speaks volumes. So I'm just going to go down like this. This is just a really, really quick little painting, but I hope everybody's going to try it.
Oh,
and as I say,
yeah.
I invite questions on this. Say, how did I do it? See, I'm leaving this space a little. There's not as much going on there because
Right.
I don't want it to be boring.
Right.
So what I'm going to do, so there's a few more there. Take my brush cleaner. There's that stroke again.
So what brand of paint do you do? Is it critical?
Well, I think it's important. That's a really good question, is because I do encourage people to use artist quality pigment.
Yeah.
Most of them are, they'll think because they're students, they do student quality.
I know.
And really, the only problem with that is, some of them are bad. Cotman's not bad because it's a Winsor Newton thing. But I would prefer, especially when they're students, to use artist quality pigment. I've liked DVP, Da Vinci brand, and I liked that because it had nice big tubes of it. Now it seems to have changed. I'm just going to do this because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with a little bit of raw sienna. A little bit of raw sienna. Raw sienna.
So what brand do you use here? Are they all the same?
These, no, they're not. A lot of them are the Da Vinci brand and Winsor Newton. Daniel Smith, some of them, but most of them have been, because I still have some Da Vinci brand still on here. But I think it would probably be Winsor Newton.
Okay, that's my favorite.
I really do like that. So I'm just going to put a little sand here. This is going to be where the water is coming over the beach.
And what's sienna?
Raw sienna.
Raw.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Raw sienna is a gorgeous color.
Good sand color.
It is a good sand color. It's a wonderful color, really. The other thing about raw sienna is that it doesn't bleed badly. If you want to put wet into wet, you can use it, and it's really quite useful. I just did a little glaze there. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take one of my round brushes. This is about a size 8 Zen brush. And this is pretty dry over here, so I'm just going to take a little bit of color, just to bring some color to it.
What's that?
This is permanent red. And I use this one instead of cadmium red because it's a little bit more transparent. I try to stay with transparent colors as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
See, that is way too wet for me, so I just take a little bit off on the towel, and then just back in here I'm going to make a little D like that. Make a few of them. And then I'm going to go in. Let's take some Prussian blue, because we don't want the same blue after all. So we'll go back in here and use a few more. There's a race going on back there. So.
Oh, the sailboats.
Oh, you're so clever.
Woo!
I knew you would. I knew you
I
would.
wondered what you were doing there.
Did
What
you?
in the world is she putting
Oh,
there?
I know. Anyway, well, now I'm going to go in with some yellow. I mean, we have to use the 3 primers, right? And then I'm going to overlap them a little bit.
Wow.
See, there. So this is a sailing race, but it's way, 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 way over there.
Yeah.
I can show you how to do sailboats close up, but this is going to be way off in the distance. Now, let's do a little edging here. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of the raw sienna, a little bit more, just to emphasize what's going on here. A little bit of that red in there, yeah. And I'm going to do the same broken line, because that's more interesting than a straight one. Then I soften. See that edge softening?
Yeah.
I've softened a lot of those edges, and that will give that.
I guess you can't wait to. What if it dries? Will it soften then?
No, well, not as well.
No.
No, not as well. So I'm just going to do this. I try not to. That if it dries, you end up by lifting.
Yeah.
And I do some of that, but it's
It
quite
doesn't,
rare actually.
it doesn't have the same effect.
No, it doesn't have the same effect. So we're going to do that. This is do you know how sand moves when it's
Yes.
you know from well that's what I'm just doing a few of
Amazing patterns.
those. They do. They're beautiful. And oftentimes little water puddles get caught in them. But this is just you see how lightly I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Really quite it's like a feather stroke really. And I'm just bringing the values here to being something like that up there. So that's all there is to it.
Wow.
And it's very simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the brush strokes, let me just show you how I do that just quickly. I'm just going to do a few more here again. Just do it with a round brush because you can do it with that as well. But I take it, it's like this. I make it long and short if you like.
Yeah.
Then I take my brush, clean it off, take off the excess water, and that's when I soften.
Right.
See how that's going in
Yeah.
there, that little puddle there?
Yeah.
So that's what's happening. So that's what you do. Oh, we got to have a bird. Don't you think we have to?
Oh,
Don't you think
3.
3 birds?
Three gulls.
See, we got to have 3 seagulls. Here we go. They're right over here.
All right.
Because they're watching.
Yes.
There we go.
There we
Maybe
go.
a few more. There we go. Okay. There's a little life force going on in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how you do it.
Wow, that was amazing.
Good.
That was too fast.
What, do you want to do another one?
Yes.
Let's do another one.
Okay.
I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll
Hey,
do it.
don't forget to sign this.
Oh, yes, signing it.
You don't have your pen.
All right, I got it right here. I'll use this.
Got to sign it.
Yeah. All right.
That'll inspire you.
Yes, it should.
Okay,
All
doke.
right.
So there you go, folks. We hope you learned something. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel. Check back often.
Because there will be more to come.